What's going on, everybody? It's Kev2K here, back with another informational Siege video. And today I'm going to be talking about gunfights, why you're losing them, and how you can start winning them. So as far as gunfights go, there's two factors that play into why you're losing them, and one is because of poor positioning, and two is because of taking bad engagements. Now, to demonstrate examples of poor positioning here, I'm going to set up a scenario. So say you're an attacker on house, the bomb site is here, and say there's a defender sitting right here. Say I'm bandit with my MP7 holographic sight and I'm holding this angle here, okay? And say I'm an attacker, say I'm Capital, and I come in here and I want to take control of this room. Now, an example of poor positioning for me would be to be up close to the wall and peek like this. Now, why is this poor positioning? Well, first of all, you're exposed to many angles. For one, here, 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 here behind the bomb, maybe somebody playing behind the pool table here. You're exposed to way too many angles. Okay, so this is, first of all, terrible positioning. And two, the fact that you're up so close to the door when trying to take a room like this means that whoever is looking at you, you will appear very big to them, as opposed to if you were to stand back, making yourself smaller and therefore, you know, harder to hit. So that's an example of poor positioning. And an example of a bad engagement, I'm going to use the same scenario. Okay, say I'm bandit, I'm trying to hold this bomb site, MP7 holographic sight. Okay, now take my loadout into consideration. I'm bandit, I have an SMG, and I'm using a scope that's meant to play at short distances. Why are you setting yourself up for failure when you're trying to take an engagement with this much of a distance? If you're a defender and you know your strengths of your operator, you should be trying to take, you know, stronger engagements by being up close like this and being aggressive, because the gun has a very fast fire rate and it's meant to be played at a shorter range. So for me to be bandit, to be here and playing aggressively is a lot better than me sitting here just anchoring and waiting for someone to like peek and just pop me in the head, right? So those are the two examples of how you lose engagements. So how do you correct these issues? Well, for one, you want to have better positioning, which requires you to play further away from the door if possible. So like say I'm an attacker and I'm trying to take this room. I'm at the widest corner available and I swing out really wide and I just check every corner like this, okay? And this is also attributed to something called pieing the corner. So when you're peeking a room, you want to peek the entire room, and the way you can do that is if you swing out in a circle and you peek every corner one by one like this. Okay, so stand further away from the door and you pie the corner like that. That's a really easy way for you to have better positioning when you're taking an engagement. Another thing I wanted to talk about is also leaning. Leaning is very important because leaning determines how much your body is actually exposed. So keep that in mind when you're peeking, because me being behind this wall and leaning exposes less of my body as opposed to not leaning and swinging out wide like this. Okay, so leaning is in this game. Abuse it and really get familiar with it, because ultimately it will help you become a better player. And if you get good enough, you can start leaning while you're in combat so that it's harder for the enemies to hit you, but I'm not going to cover that in this video right now. One more thing you also want to take into consideration is how you're peeking the angle that you're trying to peek. So there's three ways of doing it. One is the wide peek, where you just swing out wide. One is the slow peek, when you're just slowly clearing every corner, and one is the jiggle peek, when you're coming in and out really fast and you're trying to bait out shots. Okay, now I'm not gonna sit here and tell you which one is best, because there really isn't. Everything is very situational, and I'm going to explain why. So as far as slow peeking goes, it's better if you have a higher magnification scope, because when you're slow peeking, you have the better scope, you're taking the better engagement, and you're more prone to win gunfights like this. Okay, so slow peeking is definitely better with an ACOG as opposed to something with like a one-time scope, because when you're peeking like this, it's very hard to see what you're looking at. And as far as wide peeking, same thing like I said with the bandit scenario with the MP7. Wide peek is better if you're close quarter to combat, you're trying to get the jump on somebody, and if you're just trying to play aggressive, you know, like you know somebody's standing right here, and you just swing out wide and you pre-fire and you're really aggressive with it. So that's a prime example when you would want to be wide peeking. And as far as jiggle peeking goes, it's something that I do a lot to bait out shots, you know, like you're not fully committed to the wide peek, like you're coming out and you're coming back in just to get vision, get intel. And then once you have fully committed, like you say, okay, there's a guy here, I know because I jiggle peeked him, and now I'm gonna swing out wide and I'm gonna pre-fire the fuck out of him, right? So there's different ways to peek, and I want you guys to take that into consideration. Let's see, is there anything else that I missed that I wanted to cover? No, I think that's about it. So recap of everything that we've learned today. Pie your corners, you know, you don't want to just fucking peek out like this. You want to check every single corner to make sure that you're actually clear to peek. So that's called pieing the corner. The three ways of peeking: slow peeking, jiggle peeking, and just swinging out wide for aggressive plays. Also positioning from the door, how close you are. So you know, if you're trying to play really aggressive, then yes, it's okay to be close to the door, but if you're slowly peeking, there's really no reason why you should make yourself an easy target, so stand the fuck back. Also, you know, take engagements with good cover. You want to be behind cover. You don't want to just fucking stand in the doorway trying to kill someone that's right here. You have no cover covering you. You want to be behind this wall, or ideally maybe behind this wall right here. Okay, so, and also incorporate that with leaning. You're exposing less of yourself and you're taking the better engagement, which means you will come out on top. Alright everybody, so before I go on to end this video, I wanted to show you guys an in-game example so that maybe the ideas are more concrete in your head as you walk away from this video. And this is a little ranked highlight of me and my friends. It is a 1v2 and I just want to break it down as I play it. So without further ado, coming up astrology.
Second floor by
Yeah, I got it. We traded.
Okay, so right here, I get the call out, and I have the general idea of where the enemy is going to be, right? But I realize it's a 1v2, I'm at a disadvantage, so I really have to choose how I take my engagement. I know for a fact that there's an Ash and one other person, and my gun is not designated to 1v2. So with that being said, I really have to be careful here, and I just want you guys to pay close attention to how I play this out. Okay, so right here I hear the Ash to my right, but I don't just rush in because I know that even if I do rush and kill her, that's gonna give my position away to the remaining player, and that's just gonna make it harder for me to retake the site. Okay.
Oh, on the stairs to your right. I mean to your right. Yeah. She's on her drone, dude. I know. Kill her now.
So right here, I know for a fact she's on her drone, but she's not going to spot me, and she's most likely not going to get off that drone for another maybe 5 to 10 seconds, so I can capitalize on that. I don't kill her right away, okay? I slowly peek in, and notice how I'm pieing the corner. I'm trying to look for the other guy, so by the time I kill him, Ash doesn't even have time to react because she's still on her drone. I'm pieing out the corner, and boom, what do I see? A fucking head. Okay, so now Twitch is dead, and Ash is dead. So that's just a prime example of the good engagements that you want to be taking. You have to realize your win condition. So for my win condition, because of my operator, I have to find a way to make it so that it's a 1v1, if that makes any sense. Like, I can't just straight up 1v2 them because my kit won't allow me to, so I have to find a way to separate them so that I can take each engagement as an individual engagement. So those are some things for you to think about, and I hope this example has helped you. So anyways, those are some of the tips that I wanted to share you guys in this video. If you found this video helpful, definitely leave a like, leave a sub. I would really appreciate that. And anyways, I just hope that these tips have helped you, and I hope you guys have a nice day.